So this is going to be interesting to watch. In fact, I don't know how much it's going to go for, but we're going to put the amount here on the screen so you can see it. And it's either going to be shocking or, oh, shocking.
The Mecum Vintage Motorcycle Auction in Las Vegas is over and truly was one for the books, with one bike breaking the record and becoming the most expensive motorcycle ever sold at auction. This is Angus, Full Throttle Law, and we were at Mecum to bring you some of the highlights.
Legend says that when the first Honda motorcycle rolled off the production line in 1949, an employee rode it around the parking lot and said, "This is like a dream." And Papa Honda was so impressed that he said, "We have to do the dream line of motorcycles." And that's where you get this. This is the 1956 Honda Dream. It's 250 cc's and it's gorgeous. The thing is all curves. There's not a straight line on it. They encased the chain completely to keep the riders clean. The fenders flare out in these wide scoops to catch all the dirt and the mud. The design is the epitome of retro futurism, and it feels like the kind of thing you'd see in Walt Disney's Tomorrowland or parked in front of the House of Tomorrow at the World's Fair, if they still do those. This bike represents the true beginning of Honda's motorcycle dynasty. The 250 was their first motorcycle to cross beyond 10 horsepower. This particular bike was owned by a guy named Tony Sculfer, who restored it and enjoyed it so much that he wrote an entire book about it called Honda, the Forgotten Dream. It's beautiful. It's one of only 3 thought to exist outside of Japan, and it is in great condition. It's one of the most interesting bikes at Mecum, and it represents the time where Honda made making motorcycles more than just a dream. Motorcycle manufacturer Williams only made 4 of these, and this is thought to be the only one still around, and it is super weird. This is the 1915 Williams Claddy. Not only does it look very odd, but it has a very unusual motor. The Claddy has a 3-cylinder motor inside the rear wheel. So in 1908, Williams started hiring aerospace engineers to help him design motorcycles, and at the time they were all using these radial motors on their planes. So of course someone got the idea, let's put a radial motor inside a motorcycle, and the only place they thought to put it, I guess, was inside the rear wheel. Big gas tank poking out side to side between the handlebars. You also got the shifter right here between your legs, nice and convenient. It also has these footboards that doubled as the starter, I think. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I believe they kind of had to flap their feet over and over again to turn the chain, to get the motion going, to start the motor. You also, of course, have your little oil pump hiding over here. You have one rear brake operated by a foot pedal, and the throttle was a twist throttle. The last time this bike was road tested was in 1997 by Brad Wilmarth. He was a 2-time winner of the Cannonball Antique Motorcycle Run. And he described the ride as challenging. So I imagine that's a bit of an understatement. Very unique, very weird. One of the most interesting bikes at Mecum this year.
On a side quest, Dazzlin has always wanted a pair of white gloves from Mecum. Every person who brings a bike across the stage has to wear a pair of those white gloves, and this year, she earned hers. She pushed across the 1980 Italjet JC50C, which sold for $2,500.
I'll bring P10, a 1980 Italjet JC50C from the David Silver Collection. No reserve and sparkly is displayed for you.
Somebody get $15,000, anybody get $15,000, anybody get $10,000, and $10,000, anybody get...
Not only were we at the auction, but we also participated. We bought an old picture and a bundle of old postcards. I'll show you some of these. So this is a Continental Tires advertisement from 1920. Pretty cool. We got some of these postcards in a bundle. This is, just you and the boys hanging out. Looks like the one in the middle is signed up to be the DD today. Your original Instagram model leaning up against your Lamborghini. And I don't even know if I want to show you this one. Indian was wilding out in the 1920s. Yikes. Just the ladies stopping, drinking some Coca-Colas. It's like, I like this one. This is Easter Walters. She was a film star and stunt woman in the 20s. Oh, that's pretty cool. And then the new way and the old way. Looks like he's riding an Indian versus donkey. Well, there was one bike at the front entrance that caught everyone's attention. It was a comprehensive restoration by Expert Restorer Stephen Wright. And we had a feeling this was going to go for good money, but we were amazed for how much it actually sold for.
This is a 1915 Cyclone V-Twin, and this is the belle of the ball at this year's Mecum auction. Cyclone was only built between 1913 and 1917, but even with that short run, this is probably one of the most popular motorcycle brands amongst collectors today. The V-Twin motor was probably the most advanced motorcycle motor at the time, and it immediately shattered records on the dirt track and on the wood track indoors. In fact, it beat the wood track record so much that officials refused to recognize it as real. They didn't believe that the motorcycle record could have gone from 93 miles per hour on a wooden track to 111 on a Cyclone. Cyclone has a left-handed throttle, single drum brake on the rear, and it comes in any color you like as long as you like canary yellow. Now let me tell you why this one is the one to watch this year. This Cyclone was restored by Stephen Wright. It's a 1915 model. And in 2015, a Cyclone from 1915, restored by Stephen Wright, sold here at Mecum Auctions for $800,000. It's the third most expensive motorcycle ever sold. So this is going to be interesting to watch. In fact, I don't know how much it's going to go for, but we're going to put the amount here on the screen so you can see it. And it's either going to be shocking or, oh, shocking.
Hey, it almost worked before. You want to give $1,250,000? $1,250,000. $1,250,000. $1,250,000 once. $1,250,000. Do it. Give $1,250,000. $1,250,000. $1,250,000. Anybody else? So, $1,200,000. Great.
Another big number was this 1938 Crocker Twin, which sold for $880,000, marking this a truly historic show for Mecum. I want to thank you for watching. If you like motorcycles, make sure to come out next year to Las Vegas, check out some of these vintage bikes, maybe even add one to your collection.